This time I would like to turn the microphone over for a few words. We have a few toasts. And first I want to pass it off to our maid of honor, Kristen.
Hi everyone. So as you all know, or should know by now, I'm Caitie's little sister. Well, being here brings back a lot of memories. Back in the summer of 2009, both my brothers, Ben and Ryan, got married. And at Ben's wedding here, I had gone to sit down on my seat down there, and my chair on my leg got stuck between the risers, and I flipped over off the stage. So why am I sharing an embarrassing story about myself? Because during that time, Caitie was more concerned about whether or not we were going to get more champagne and whether or not I was okay. So that can give you a little look into our relationship. We haven't always had your typical loving sister relationship. We often fought, and we still do. I give her a hard time over taking my socks, but I have big feet and it's tough to find some pairs that fit. I can remember back to the one time Caitie got in a boot, and she, for whatever reason, I was making fun of her like constantly. And we're in the car, and her and my mom were both like, Kristen, you know, karma's gonna get you. What goes around comes around. I'm like, blow it off. So Caitie and I are up in our room wrestling, and she flips me over, and I crack my heel off my bed. I ended up tearing ligaments, and I ended up in a boot. And Caitie loves this story because she's like, remember that one time I put you in a boot? But really, I couldn't imagine not having you as my big sister. And one time, she was her. And I didn't want to leave her at the house alone. So I took her with me to go to the park with a friend. And Ben was sleeping, so we go up to tell him, like, we're going to a park, but he's half asleep when we tell him this. So my mom comes home, and we're nowhere to be found. And she's like, Ben, where are the girls? And he's like, I don't know, something about a park. So she calls the police, and they're set out looking for us. So we're at the park, and I'm like throwing rocks and stuff, and a police officer starts to approach us. I'm like, oh no, I'm about to get in trouble. And he's like, looks at us, he's like, are you the Gallagher girls? We're like, yeah. He's like, all right, I found them. So we walk out to see our mom in the parking lot, and she's very relieved, and Caitie and I were a little ticked off. We were supposed to get Wendy's that night. And we love food, so that was probably the biggest hurt in that situation. But really, I hated seeing her, and growing up, Caitie was wanted by a lot of guys. And I, the younger boyish sister, wasn't. But what I saw was a lot of heartbreak. And when Joe came along, there wasn't any. And not only that, Joe makes her the happiest I've ever seen her. He can also put up with my nonsense as well. He might have heard me as being the creepy sister for hitting on him from day one. And I still call him my boyfriend, and this really should be our wedding. And he comes on family vacation with us. So we get to the house, we're all horsing around, having a water balloon fight, and I lean over the railing from one of the upper decks, and I nailed Joe in the face. I tear his contact, get wear his glasses the rest of the trip, and needless to say, the fun ended there. But really, after he survived our family vacation, I knew that he could definitely marry my sister. He's fit in since day one, and I couldn't be asking for the best brother, another addition to my 4 already. But, so when I found out Joe was going to be my brother-in-law, my dad comes up from downstairs and announces, I'd like to announce to you this is going to be my new son-in-law. So we all go to bed, and I get a text that night from Caitie. Like, everyone thinks Joe's going to propose, blah, blah, blah. And I know at this point what's going to happen. And I'm like, oh, no. What do I say? So I'm convinced her, like, this isn't the right time. Joe just started a new career. There's no way, Kate. And merely I knew what was going to happen. So on April 28th, 2013, Caitie was asked to marry Joe down by the waterfront, the river there. And Joe was asking for ideas on how to propose. And I said, well, why don't we pull a prank and you propose to me? But that didn't happen. So here we are a little over a year later. And they're off to Montana to start their lives together. I'm going to miss them so much. You guys are best friends, and you guys will be good with my brother out there. And I have comfort in knowing that you're with me. It's one of the most good-looking couples I know. Here's to the new minister and his sister.
Even though she wants to hear a congratulations to Kristen and Joe, I'm just going to end it and say good speech to you. Big round of applause to Kristen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to pass the microphone off to our first best man, Justin.
Good evening, guys. I'll try to keep it a little bit, pull myself together and Kristen. I don't have my memory, so I can't do it. So in case you guys don't know me, I'm one of Joe's older brothers, just the better looking one. So I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight to celebrate the marriage of this beautiful bride and groom, Joe and Caitie. I'd also like to give a special thanks to those who made this night possible, to Dan and Luann, who you guys are over here, and So for weeks now, I've been hearing about how lucky the groom is to be married the bride, but I've heard nothing about how lucky the bride is to marry the groom. So I'm no brainiac, but I think that's good, buddy. Yeah, it's hard to believe that my little brother's getting married. Never in my life did I think that he'd be getting married before me. I look at him and, well, to me, he's still little Joe. It seems like just yesterday that he thought girls and boys had the same private parts. I can imagine he's pretty shocked by that. There's also a time in his life where Joe told our mom that he never wanted to get his license. He didn't want to drive. And my mom asked him, Joe, why? He said, because Mom, I'll never be able to find my way home. And he's still with us, so I guess he comes There was also a time when Joe wanted to come out and play with Jeffrey and I in the backyard. So, we would take full advantage of this. We'd go outside, go up the hill in the backwoods, and we did so far, and him and Jeff and I would just run back down the hill, leaving Joe there, defend for himself. How do you think Joey handled this situation? Kind of just stood there crying until my mom heard him far off in the distance, and she would trek up the hill, and she'd be approaching him, and here's Joe just sitting there crying, and he stops crying, looks at her, points, and says, "Stop, no night-night." Can you imagine the lyrical of this kid? He'd rather be stuck than be forced to go home and take a nap. Looking back now, don't we all wish we could have someone go to daily nap in our daily routines? And now look at Joe. Or should we refer to him as Airman First Class, Joseph Bailey. I should like that one. Not only is he my little brother and one of my best friends, he's grown up to be quite a handsome young man with a heart made of gold. I remember when he and Caitie first started dating. In walked a girl with a personality that could brighten the room, but at the same time not be afraid to say what's on her mind, and not be afraid to help herself to seconds, or even thirds. So what Kristen says rings true. It's family neat. I later learned that she was the younger sister to 4 older brothers, so she had to learn to hold her own at a young age. Who knew survival of the fittest was still around? Well, from day one I knew Caitie was someone special. Not only is she a beautiful young woman, she's charismatic, empathetic, outgoing, and smart. You can tell these two were meant to be together just by spending some time in their presence. I'm going to go ahead with this one because I've been told not to, but a wise man once said, "Love is like a fart. If you have to force it, it's probably poop." Caitie's love is one that fills the room silently, leaving everyone disgusted, ill, envious, or impressed. And in their case, all three. No, but in all seriousness, I do believe that somewhat disgusting, yet funny metaphor rings true. Love is something that happens naturally, not forced, no matter how young or how old. Love is a partnership of 2 unique people who bring out the very best in each other. And you know that even though they are wonderful as individuals, they're even better together. Caitie, although I would say that you have been already for quite some time, welcome officially to the family. It's always our glasses of toast to these two.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a big round for our second toast to Justin. Next, a few words from our other best man, Jeffrey.